A slight otherwise sunny skies and a high near 73. Mostly sunny Friday with a high of 76. And mostly sunny Saturday for the Beaver Falls car cruise with a high of 81 degrees. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM, 95.7 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Now, it's time to talk on Teleforum on Beaver County Radio. 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, 99.3 FM, and beavercountyradio.com. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
And now, a brief respite from me yelling. This hour, Tom just came in. Tom Gargaro with the Beaver Falls Car Cruise. This is being live streamed on Facebook. We get your pretty mug out for everybody to see it. But one of the first things you came in, you're like, we're not going to talk about politics today. Oh, heck no. Right. I already took care of that knowing you were coming in. We're talking about the car cruise, and it's the week of. I got to believe you're busier than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs, man.
We got a lot going on. We had our last committee meeting last night to tie up what I would call any loose ends. We have a wonderful committee, really.
Has there ever been a fist fight in one of those meetings?
No, there's been verbal discussions.
That you hesitate made me think, okay, you've at least thought back. But
it's probably been in a few people's minds, but we've settled it all.
It's a passionate group.
It really is.
Yeah,
Really is.
You have to be to do this every year.
Yeah, to get the people on our committee that spend months and months and months of their free time volunteering to put this huge event together. And there are disagreements sometime, but we always seem to be able to work them out.
Well, you ready for Saturday?
Yeah, we're really, really excited. We think everything is ready. We look at it as on this Saturday, the second Saturday in June, we will transform this beautiful city of Beaver Falls into a mecca for car enthusiasts. As far as we know for sure right now, we've got people coming from 8 states and Canada. This is the second or third largest car cruise east of the Mississippi, right here in Beaver Falls. Pretty significant.
It's been a few years, but I remember the first time that I was doing an appearance, and I'm driving, and I'm thinking, all right, this might be okay. I don't know anything about it. And I get about halfway towards New Brighton, and the cars start stacking up. I'm like, okay, this might be a big deal. It literally, the word you used is right. Beaver Falls is transformed. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And we're very proud. We work closely with the city, and they give us a lot of support. Here's something I wanted to bring up right at the beginning.
Tom, this is your hour. I've spent the last 2 hours screaming.
I heard you.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
With your little asterisks and stuff on where you're going to get kind of emotional on a topic.
See?
There it is. There's that sheet. It actually does exist. I see it in person.
Can't read it, but it exists.
Right.
Well, no, all that's gone now. It's a happy time. You're in charge of that. Told you.
Good. Well, I had the pleasure of talking to a gentleman named Bob Johnson this morning.
Okay.
Bob Johnson was at the very first car cruise in 1990. There were 6 cars. It was at the Beaver Falls High School.
6 people showed up?
6 cars. The Happy Days Car Club started this. I always give them credit. They built this cruise into what it is. Think of it going from 6 cars at the high school to what we'll see on Saturday, several thousand cars, 12,000, 14,000 people. And Bob was telling me there were 6 cars at the high school. He thinks the next year there was 20 or 25, all supported, all brought on by the Happy Days Car Club. And then there was one year when 3WS, I don't even know if that still exists, but it was
in name only.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they came down and actually did a live broadcast in one of the early years. Mm-hmm. If anybody listening has different information than what I'm giving, please call and let me know. But the year after the 3WS came down, he thinks is when it moved to 7th Avenue. So it was in the first 2 to 4 years when it moved over.
It got busy enough to need more space, and this is a perfect road.
Yeah, it
especially
really is.
This is the one time that the cockamamie parking lines actually make sense. They don't make sense when you're trying to park, but
yeah, you're right. I
line
mean,
them up.
they do on the one side that on this side of the street. It does help because we don't have to turn these cars.
Right.
But we will turn them on the other side. And I was told by Bob Johnson that he thought that the president of Happy Days back in those early days, the Happy Days Car Club, was a gentleman named Rich Fubio. Okay. So shout out to Rich Fubio and to all the members of the Happy Days Car Club for starting this magnificent event and building it into what it is today.
At this point, less than a week out, are you comfortable, or do you no longer let yourself be comfortable until it's over?
Yeah, actually, I guess it's a mix of both, but for the most part, comfortable. We had our last meeting last night. It was basically check off everything. Everything, all the decisions are made. Everybody knows who's doing what. You know, we actually come down Friday evening to start setting up. We'll spend a couple hours here Friday evening prepping for the setup, and then we'll get down here around 5:30 or 6 Saturday morning. The committee will, and we will start getting ready for the cruise.
How many people, just off the top of your head, 100 people, 500 people, to make this happen every year? Because you talk about the board and the volunteers. It's not just the board and the volunteers.
It's really not. Now, I mean, I would like to read you the committee people, but see, there are vendors, there are nonprofits, the city, the police department, the fire department.
Now, I want people to know those names, and I want people to know those groups, because I want people to recognize the effort it takes to put on an event. We all come down and we all have a big time.
Yeah.
But we have a big time because of people doing the work. Those people absolutely should be recognized.
Yeah, so the committee itself, of course, my lovely wife Judith is on the committee. Joe Barber.
You know I like your wife way more than you, right? Have we had that talk?
Well,
the
I kind of get that impression, I guess. But
the candle?
The candle
is glorious that she gave me.
And now she sends you some other little
I'm
goodies.
eating good. I'm eating good this afternoon. But I told you, man, you know this. What's the quickest way to get media to pay attention to you? Hand them a sandwich.
Hand them food.
Hand them food. Talk about who put this together.
Right. So in addition to my wife, Judith, there's Joe Barber, Doug Beck, Frank and Paula Dorish, Candy Farmer, Sam Florida, Les Haymond, Ben Hoffman, Ron Ippolito, Gary Klemook, Colin Clear, Justin Levang, Brian and Michelle McNeely, Steve Peterson, Mark Peterson, Gary Snare and Debbie Linderman, and Frank Sparks. Now, that's the core committee, right? On Saturday, all of us will have family members, nieces, nephews, sons and daughters that are here to support us. We really add probably another 24 people to that committee on Saturday to make this all work. Think of things like this. The logistics of that day are pretty daunting, right?
There's a whole lot of moving parts, and people are involved, and that can move the parts even more. And it's like trying to chase all manner of everything. I've seen
exactly. There's and Frank Sparks has put together the opening ceremony for us for this year. There's a lot going on the opening ceremony. We're gonna have interviews. Donna Groom is going to be singing the national anthem for us.
I love Donna.
Pretty much the minute she finishes, the Air Heritage C-47 Luck of the Irish World War II airplane will appear over the New Brighton end, and we'll do several flyovers up and down. To my knowledge, and I'm involved with Air Heritage too,
sure,
it's the only car cruise in the tri-state area that has a historic plane like that do a flyover.
It almost is a really cool, and today is the anniversary of D-Day.
Yes, it is.
You're talking about a plane that was flying at that point.
Yeah, our plane actually was not flying on D-Day, but there were thousands of C-47s flying. They had taken DC-3s that were commercial airliners, just called them C-47s, painted them military. Actually, General Eisenhower said that plane, that type of plane, was one of the 4 most important things in winning World War II.
And you've got that as basically a starter's pistol for the car cruise.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely. It when you see the plane flying over, the cruise officially has begun. Now, honestly, at 6:30 in the morning, 7th Avenue will be near full with classic cars. Everybody gets here pretty early.
I said that earlier. I said it officially starts at 11.
Yep.
But ain't nobody showing up at 11.
Right.
All the cool cars come way before 11 and get the good spots. And that's when before we start our broadcast at 11, that's when we get to squirrel around and check out all the cool stuff, too.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We're very, very proud. Other than saving parking spots for the committee itself, all the rest of our spots are open to first come, first serve. It has nothing to do with who's a sponsor or not. It's just first come, first serve. It's for the people is what this cruise is for.
It's not like the high school parking lot where the cool cars get the cool spots.
Right.
So,
right.
Talk a little bit about the other parts of the car cruise, because there are people that are car geeks and I use that term with love. They're going to show up to look at the cars. There are also going to be people that get dragged along that maybe don't care one way or the other about cars. You're going to take care of them with food and things, too.
Absolutely. So we take a lot of pride in making sure that we have a large number of food vendors, a large variety of food vendors. The other logistic that people don't think about is the trash that's generated by 12 to 14,000 people.
The cleanup.
Yeah. Right. We're really lucky and blessed this year. Tiger Paws has volunteered to help with our trash pickup, a wonderful, wonderful group.
Mr. Matt.
Yeah, Mr. Matt. And actually, like during the opening ceremonies, we're going to be making a donation to the Tiger Paws Youth Ministry.
Good.
And we're also going to be making a donation to the Beaver Falls Canine Unit, which we do every year. I just saw Officer Wetter outside with Figo. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And part of me said, "Oh, I should say hi." And part of me said, "No, I'll just stay over here."
Yeah, and other things for people to do that day, Eddie, at the headquarters, which will basically be over by the library across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Nahas from AK Nahas, he's going to be selling 50-50 raffle tickets. All the proceeds of that benefit the McGuire Memorial Home.
Very cool.
Really cool. Also at the headquarters, if you buy $20 worth of tickets for the 50-50, Dave Dixon from Valvoline and his team will be there to give out Valvoline products. And the Baden Fire Department is actually selling a really, really cool, brand new Indian motorcycle.
Oh, my gosh.
We got to see it the other day at the Darlington Day. So
Wait,
they're going to come.
They're selling it?
They're raffling it.
Raffling
if I misspoke, I'm sorry.
I'm in. No, I'm in on that one.
Yeah. And I bought a ticket too because it's a super cool ride. So there'll be a lot going on around the headquarters. We have, I don't know, around 400 T-shirts we'll have for sale that day. So there's a lot going on. I'd encourage people to take a walk up to the headquarters because that's where a lot of these things are going to be happening.
That's got to be a $20,000 motorcycle.
If I remember correctly, and the trailer comes with it, believe it or not.
Oh,
and it is
yeah,
sweet.
easy.
I think it's $25,000 to $28,000 total.
Yeah.
$10 a ticket, right? Once they sell so many tickets, I think it's going off Labor Day weekend. It is a beautiful, beautiful ride.
Talk to people that have never been to the car cruise. What's the piece of advice you would give them before they show up Saturday?
Yeah, I'd say, and the weather.
Comfortable shoes.
Right. The weather's going to be beautiful. 81, partly sunny. My dad's kind of helping with that, of course.
Yeah.
So I would say this, bring your family, right? It's a very family-friendly event. Enjoy all the cars. Please support all of our vendors that are here. We've also got a lot of nonprofit vendors that we support, and I'd like to kind of read down, and we take a lot of pride in the fact that our nonprofit vendors, we don't charge them anything to set up, right? And I just got.
Oh, that's great. That means they ain't got to hit a certain number before they go, okay, we broke even now.
Right.
Now we're raising money.
So we'll have Boy Scouts Pack 409, Beaver Falls Little Tigers, Beaver Falls Lions Club, Neighborhood North. I know you're familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
Beaver Falls Baseball Boosters, and the Beaver Falls Varsity Cheerleaders. All of those groups are nonprofits. All of those groups get to come, whether they want to give out literature, water, do a dunk tank, whatever it is they want to do to raise money for their cause. We don't want a penny from them, and we're always very proud of the fact that we support a lot of nonprofits. So the other thing, too, though, is the for-profit vendors. Just give you kind of, to use a phrase.
I'm waiting for you to get to the grub, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you a little bit of list of some of the food we're going to have there.
All right.
So Just One More Sports Star bar right down the street. Chicken on a stick, Polish sausage, pierogies, chicken tenders, funnel cakes, Dippin' Dots, all kind of drinks.
I'm a big Dippin' Dots guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Athens Family Restaurant right down the street. Wonderful, wonderful family-owned business down
Yep.
there. Gyros, some of the best gyros anywhere.
I'm going to tell you
Gyros.
this. Gyros. as a guy that lived with Greeks and has, gyros. But I want to tell you something about Athens.
What?
I said this on the air. North of the Mason-Dixon line, Athens has the best sweet tea I have ever had.
Really?
Unbelievable. I was in there getting my steak, and it unbelievable, like noticeably. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to pee before I walk back. I'm drinking so much of this stuff.
Given those strong southern roots of yours, I would think you would know.
High praise. Athens, I don't know if it's Greek sweet tea or what they're doing. It is the best sweet tea I've ever had.
I got to talk to Marina and ask her what the secret is about that.
Sugar.
They'll also have baked barbecue chicken, meatball hoagies, hot sausage hoagies, grape leaves, homemade Greek desserts. Really, really good stuff. Took's Concessions will be here with hot sausage, Philly's cheesesteaks, hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries. Al's Pizza of Economy, he sells a variety of different pizza flavors that everybody will love.
A good friend of mine is an absolute cult member for that place.
No kidding.
He orders it 4 or 5 times a week.
Yep, so they'll be here. Vocelli Pizza right down the street will be here. Some Like It Hot on Wheels. This is the guy, Jeff Rittersbach, who sells Cubans, and they are the best Cubans you'll find around here. And he also has very award-winning chili. The Ambridge Italian Villa will be here with gyros, hoagies, pizza, fried foods, DC Mexican food, tacos, burritos, cool treats, selling ice cream, walking tacos. Ice cream floats, desserts, kids' novelties, hot dogs, Italian sausage, D's Fair Food, fried Oreos, walking tacos, funnel cakes, hot sausage, corn dogs, apple dumplings, lemonade, sweet tea. Chubby's Pizza Wagon will be here with personal-sized 10 to 12-inch pizzas made to order. Rescue Dogs, this is the group that all of their profits go to the Light of Life mission in Pittsburgh to help the homeless there. They sell specialty hot dogs, and they're probably the best hot dogs I've ever eaten. And we'll also have Just Three Brothers Lemonade, selling steak hoagies, chicken, fresh-cut fries, and fresh fruit lemonade. Food for anybody's taste that day, in addition to any of the restaurants and bars that are serving food that day along 7th Avenue.
Just open the doors and they're open. Tom Gargaro is my guest. We're talking about the Beaver Falls Car Cruise. It's happening this Saturday. You can stay. We can talk more.
I'm willing to stay if you're willing to have me.
I'm willing to have anybody that talks fried Oreos is cool with me.
Yeah.
More with Tom after news on Teleforum.
Thanks for tuning in to Beaver County Radio, created by local people in the St. Barnabas studios. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
We are springing into summer. This is Jack Lynn from City Rescue Mission. Thank you to our Beaver County donors who gave financially during the month of May, our matching gift challenge. We have spring in our step because of your great response. Through the summer, we will provide shelter to the homeless, food for the hungry families, and spiritual care for those in need. Visit cityrescuemission.org to help us give a summer of service to hurting individuals in our community.
If you have a graduate in your family and are wondering what to get them, look no further, because a gift that they'll potentially use over their lifetime and cost you virtually nothing is available right now at Friendly Federal Credit Union. This is Cindy Haladio. Open up a graduate account for your aspiring student today. They'll get free checks, a $1,500 Visa credit card with approved credit, a debit card tied to their account, no service fees, and online access so they'll be able to take care of things no matter where they'll be heading off to college. Plus, your student may end up with an additional $1,000 to put in their account. That's because applications are being accepted for the Carl D. Ross and Anthony S. Payne Memorial Scholarships through the end of the month. It's time for you to commence with plans for your graduate. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union in Baden or Aliquippa. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Peanuts! Tune in to Beaver County Radio on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. for the all-new Hey Peanuts Sports Show. Just like the Peanut Guy has his opinion from the cheap seat, so do hosts Scott Kincaid and Brian Pasquale. The pair will discuss what's going on in the world of sports both locally and nationally. They'll also take your phone calls. The show will also be streamed live on the Beaver County Radio Facebook page and YouTube channel. So make plans to tune in this and every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on Beaver County Radio, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Tune into Garden Jargon with Charlie Dirt this Wednesday at 11:10 a.m. right here on Beaver County Radio. You'll be able to call in and ask Charlie your gardening questions and share if you have any gardening tips that have helped your garden grow. Garden Jargon also streams live on the Beaver County Radio Facebook page, where you can also ask questions in the live feed. Garden Jargon is being brought to you in part by Beaver County Radio, 95.7, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents The Play That Goes Wrong, June 16th to the 25th. Sponsored by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Tickets start at just $18 at LincolnParkArts.org.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning. We can expect some widespread haze today with partly sunny skies and a high near 80 degrees. We are under an orange air quality alert until 4 p.m. We'll have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after this look at news. A ceremony was held for the soon-to-be-opened Beaver County Emergency Men's Shelter in Vanport. Matt Durzik was there and has further details.
Following over a year of construction and several years of fundraising, the ribbons were cut for the Beaver County Emergency Men's Shelter Monday afternoon at the newly renovated facilities in Vanport. The 24-hour shelter will be run by the Cornerstone of Beaver County, and Cornerstone Executive Director Marie Tampano spoke about how this is a major step towards their ultimate goal.
So today is a huge step for us towards a vision of ending homelessness in Beaver County. And I talk a lot about what that looks like. You know, we see in the city of Pittsburgh, you see encampments and you see some of that. And some people will tell you we don't have a homeless problem in Beaver County. And I'm here to tell you that we do. It looks different, right? We're not seeing tons of folks on the streets. We're not seeing encampments, although we do have some of that, not a lot. And I hope that the Cornerstone and some of our partner agencies in the continuum of care are part of the reason why we don't.
The shelter will begin full operation starting on June 12th. For the full story, including photos of the event and the new facility, check out the story at BeaverCountyRadio.com. From Vanport, I'm Matt Durzik for Beaver County Radio News.
A Monaca man is healing with over 20 broken bones after he was hit by a car Saturday night in Monaca. Christopher Alexander was reportedly crossing the street near the American Legion on a Pennsylvania Avenue crosswalk shortly before 10 p.m. Alexander was flown to UPMC Pittsburgh. As of this time, we have not learned of any charges filed. Pennsylvania is on track for improved rail safety after the Pennsylvania House voted to pass legislation by Beaver County State Representatives Rob Matzey and Jim Marshall that would strengthen state standards for freight trains and add reporting requirements for transport of hazardous materials. The lawmakers said they introduced House Bill 1028, which passed by a vote of 141 to 62, to supplement existing federal rail safety standards they say are insufficient to prevent the risk of derailments along heavily traveled Pennsylvania routes. These include a minimum two-man crew and a maximum train length of 8,500 feet, limiting the length of time trains may be parked in an area where they block road crossings needed for access by emergency response vehicles, and to allow a union representative to be present for rail safety inspections without being accused of trespassing, among other things. The bill now heads to the state Senate for consideration. In 2022, there were more than 1,000 train derailments in the United States. A blast of air and dust from the implosion of two smokestacks at a shuttered coal-fired power plant last week caused damage to nearby homes, but the demolition company is vowing full repairs. The implosion was Friday at the Cheswick Generating Station in Springdale. An emergency official says the air blast broke windows, blew dust in the homes, and caused a power surge that damaged electrical appliances. The company says repairs of minor damage are underway and will be completed to the satisfaction of each property owner affected. An announcement made by representatives of Donnie Iris revealed that shortly after his sold-out 80th birthday show in March, it was discovered he had cancer. His team says he has the best care and everyone is very optimistic for his full return to health. They add that he recently had surgery and his prognosis is good, but as a result of his recovery, he will not be able to perform in Youngstown at the Foundation Amphitheater on June 21st with Oreo Speedwagon. He is looking forward to resuming a regular schedule, though, beginning July 24th at Blossom Music Center in Cuyahoga Falls with Foreigner and Loverboy.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
We can expect widespread haze today with partly sunny skies and a high near 80 degrees. We are under an orange air quality alert until 4 p.m. Mostly clear tonight, going down to a low of 48. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 75. A slight chance of showers Thursday afternoon with otherwise sunny skies and a high near 73. Mostly sunny Friday with a high of 76. And mostly sunny Saturday for the Beaver Falls Car Cruise with a high of 81 degrees. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM, 95.7 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum. 724-843-1888. 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddie Crow.
If you're watching this on Facebook, if you happen to be on our Facebook page right now, that grinning, blonde-headed swarthiness that you're seeing is Tom Gargaro, and we're talking about, is it the biggest event for Beaver Falls? The car cruise is Saturday, and that's what we're talking about, and I've done a lot of events here in Beaver Falls. I can't think of anything bigger. Maybe the Christmas parade. But I got a feeling the car cruise is even bigger. Is it?
The Christmas parade is a wonderful event. I do believe that the car cruise is the biggest event of the year in Beaver Falls. I do believe that, yeah.
I'm trying to picture, will you ever get tired of this? I was about to say, I'm trying to picture a Beaver Falls car cruise that you're not involved with, because this is between the Air Heritage and this is your world most of the year, isn't it?
It is. It consumes a lot of time. Judith always says that by this time of the year, I'm saying, I think I've had enough. But then, once everything settles down again and stuff, so we take it year by year. We do enjoy what we do to try to give back to the community. It's something that we do enjoy doing.
Were you always like that? Were you always community civic-minded? Because there are people that are born that way. There are people that are led into it. There are people that won't ever think that way.
I think so. I think my wife and I both have, most of our lives, we were taught to give back to the community anytime we can. So really throughout most of our adult lives, one way or the other, we've found some way to give back.
All right, talk about more of the people that are involved in this, because like the old saying, it takes a village. It takes at least a village to put this together, aside from the board and the food. I'm pumped up about the food. I already I made my list in my head.
Me too. Well, the city of Beaver Falls really gives us a lot of support. The police department helps us all throughout the day. The fire department, the street department does a huge amount of work for us. Pat Burdine from the street department, I really got to give a shout out to him and his crew. They really, really do a lot of support for us. One thing I did want to bring up, though, Eddie, about what's going on over at the headquarters.
Where the headquarters, right in front of the library?
They'll be right in front of the library, right by the falls.
Right in front. Well, no, right
Not
by
in front of the falls, but right by the falls.
And if you can avoid it, don't sit on the falls.
Nobody will be allowed to sit on the falls that day.
All right, we'll water feature.
We'll watch it.
That'll be my job.
Right. We'll hire you.
Dude, I'll stand there and shoot people away.
But I did want to mention, actually, Eddie, your mother, I think, she lives in Indiana, right?
Yes.
So graciously made a quilt, and it's got a silhouette of a police officer with a canine on it.
As my mother refers to it, I got to make another cop dog quilt.
Yeah, I love that.
She makes them for police departments all over the country.
It's really, really impressive, and I can't even imagine how long it takes to make a quilt, but I could tell it takes a lot of time and effort. But so she was gracious enough to donate that to us. We are raffling that off. We took raffle tickets for it at the Air Heritage Wings and Wheels event a couple weeks ago. We're going to also have it here. And by the end of the day, I think around 5:30, we'll be pulling the winner for that, and all the proceeds will go to the Beaver Falls Canine Unit. So thank you and thank your mother for, and I know you say sometimes she's listening. So, Mom, if you're listening, thank you very much.
Sue. You can call her Sue.
Sue.
Yeah.
Well, I could call her Mom too, couldn't I?
I don't think she's in the market to adopt. I think she's.
But what if I'm in the market to adopt?
You know what? You'll get fed well and you'll be warm from the quilts.
What more could I ask for? So, yeah, that's we'd ask everybody, please stop over. The tickets are $5 a piece. Again, 100% of the proceeds will be donated to the Beaver Falls Canine Unit, and that's above and beyond the donation that the car cruise is making. So
we did this real quick at the very end last year. I like the idea that this is out there earlier than we got it done. And it wasn't anybody's fault. We just, on a whim, did this last year. Mom and I did.
Right. So please stop by the headquarters over there by the falls.
Mm-hmm.
You can support the cruise by buying our shirts. You can support the McGuire home by buying a 50-50. And you can support the Beaver Falls Police Canine Unit by buying a chance on that quilt.
That's Officer Wetters, isn't it?
Yes, Officer Josh Wetters, I do believe.
I've met him at the presentation last year.
Right.
You were there. I don't know if you were there.
Yep.
Judith was there.
Yep.
And the dog that they've now got, is it Figo or Figo? Because I have Figo.
Yep, Figo. I just saw them outside before I came in. And actually, we're hoping that Officer Wetters and Figo can be there for the presentation of the check.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that they're hoping to be able to get a second canine. You know, you got to think about this. Not only getting the cost of a highly trained dog, but then housing that dog, feeding that dog. You know, there's
money in. Oh no, it's like any pet.
Right.
That dog eats more. And you talk about the training of the dog and how insanely expensive those dogs are. You're also sending the officer somewhere for training. And like I said, I've got family members that are dog cops.
Yeah.
You go to train. You go to get trained. The dog goes to get trained. All of that costs a lot of money. Well, go ahead and give people a ballpark figure, because I knew they weren't cheap, but these dogs are highly trained, specifically bred work creatures. Ballpark figure.
They
what
really are.
cost?
Ballpark figure to do everything you just said,
to get a
from
dog
beginning to end,
up to speed. Yeah.
Are tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
First of all, these dogs are extremely highly trained, very specialized training, right?
Yeah.
I just give you an example that comes to mind. If they have a person that apparently committed a crime and they're trying to run away, they can send the dog after them. Now, if the person, which a lot of people do, turns around and says, you know what? Okay, wait, I give up.
Yeah, you turn
right?
around.
Right. They can get that dog called off even if it's a foot away from you. Yeah. That's really specialized training.
You can flip a switch. Well, you're going against instinct. You trained this dog to go get that person.
Right.
But the dog's also smart enough to recognize instantaneously, okay, stop getting that person.
Well, and, you know, it all comes down to the whole thing with Pavlov's dogs, right? Conditioned response.
That's it.
So when they give a certain signal, that dog knows he will be rewarded by stopping if that's the command they give him. So it's really, and when I was talking to Officer Wetters, a large part of what they do with their canine program is what I'd call community integration. Mm-hmm. He's walking up and down 7th Avenue, talking to people, everybody saying hi to Figo.
I see him every day.
It's really, really great stuff for a community to have that, and hopefully down the road they'll be able to get to where they can have a second one.
Now, I see him walking up and down 7th with the dog, chatting with people.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to watch. You see people come up on him, and they'll kind of stop and take a step back, and then you can see them get relaxed. They realize that dog, well, as a trained professional, that dog ain't going to do nothing unless that dog's told to do it.
Exactly right. And what the officer was telling me, that when he has the dog in the vehicle, the dog is quiet. But as soon the dog clearly likes being out around people, because as soon as he got the dog out of the car, the dog started barking and talking to people and stuff. And
I'm happy.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff. And we admire what the Beaver Falls Police Department and Officer Wetters have done to get to where they're at with the canine unit.
How much more troublesome would it be for organizations to keep going without what they get from the car cruise?
You know, the car cruise, I think a lot of businesses, especially food and bars along 7th Avenue, have their biggest day of the year.
Sure.
Most of the food vendors that we have that come here selling food tell us it's their biggest event of the year. When you get good weather and 12 or 14,000 people, a lot of people too, a lot of the cruisers, right? When we get down here about 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, 7th Avenue is already starting to fill up.
I know it.
And they're here a lot of them will go to Orm's and get donuts for breakfast. They're here for lunch. They're here for dinner. So everybody, and it's our goal. We want the vendors to be very, very successful that day. And we're very, very proud. We're blessed that we have this big, long, almost 2.5 mile oval here for a cruise lane, right? And that's another thing that we take a lot of pride in, it is that we are, because of the geography here, we can not only have 1,000, 2,000 cars sitting there for people to look at, but the cars can come in and drive in. Even if you're parked there for 4 hours, we see this all day long. They want to pull out and both see all the cars on the loop and let everybody see their car. Of course, somebody's going to save their spot so that nobody takes it.
So, okay, is the lawn chair properly respected?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is, we're in the Pittsburgh area. That's a tradition.
How many years have some of these guys been bringing their cars?
We meet people all the time who say they've been coming for 25, 30 years. This is our 32nd cruise. It's been 33 years, but the 1 year of COVID, we didn't do the cruise, right? So, and by the way, that year we made around $4,000 of donations. We didn't have a cruise that year to the police department, fire department. So because every year we want to give back to the community. So 32 years, I believe. Like, I know the folks that are involved with the New Brighton Cruise, Moon Township.
Oh, it's a small,
cruise.
everybody, once you get in a circle of car cruisers, everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows where all the different cruises are, sure.
Right, and I think, and again, I'm open for correction, I think ours is the largest in the area, and I think ours is the longest running. We will have, a lot of times for a little local car cruise, they'll say the first 100 cars get a dash plaque, right? The first 1,500 cars here will get a dash plaque. So we know how many people usually come with good weather, and we plan for it.
You said the year that it didn't happen because of COVID, you still managed to raise $4,000. What is a typical car cruise when everything goes like it's going to go Saturday? How much money is raised for what charities?
So a lot of the money goes to continuing the car cruise.
Okay.
Just for people's information,
operating
right?
costs.
Operating costs for us, and it varies from year to year. And this includes, the flyover and all the porta-johns and everything like that. $15,000 to $18,000 is what it costs us to put this event on.
So you need to get near 20 before you break even.
Right.
Okay.
And we are very thankful and blessed that we have just wonderful sponsors from the area. If I could, I'd like to read through those.
Tom,
they're who makes this
absolutely,
happen.
because without them, you ain't
right
spending $20,000 a year.
I'll admit we make a few dollars on the shirts we sell for the cruise. We know people who have 25 years of shirts.
Yeah, car guys are shirt guys, man.
They have the shirts, they have the dash plaques and stuff.
Yep.
And we make some money on that. People are so generous, Eddie. We have, as they come into the cruise lane, we just have a donation bucket. Really, on a good day, we'll get several $1,000s just in donations. Just people throwing money in a bucket. But the real big money comes from the sponsors, right?
Absolutely.
And so like our top level sponsors are Beaver County Radio. Of course, we appreciate all that Beaver County Radio does to support the cruise, including putting up with me and having me here for an hour every once in a while.
I'm only in it because Judith sends me candles and pie. Let's go ahead and be honest. If Judith doesn't walk you in here with pie, you're not coming through the door.
I hear you. I understand that.
All right.
So Beaver County Radio, big sponsor. The other major level sponsors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Patriot Home Care, Head Start, Early Head Start, which is a division of the Private Industry Council, and they'll actually have a table and a tent set up here. Ron Lewis Ford Kia, our chairman emeritus, Steve Peterson, actually works for Ron Lewis.
I know Steve.
And he will be our grand marshal that day. He'll be in a beautiful, I think, 71 or 72 red
You should
Eldorado
make him march.
convertible.
Put him in a
We
sash.
should make him march, huh?
Yeah,
Steve would do it.
I know he would.
Steve would do it.
He'd look good in a sash.
Yeah. Eddie Isabella State Farm right across the street here,
Yeah.
huge supporter. And Vintage Torque, this is also another committee member. Colin Clear owns Vintage Torque. So they are the top level sponsors. The middle level sponsors are Victoria's Embroidering in Rochester. Candy Farmer, the owner of Victoria's Embroidering, is also a committee member, very helpful to us. And by the way, I'm showing for the first time to the public, this is this year's staff shirt. Every year what we do is we take all the committee members who have a classic car and we just put their names in a hat to see whose car is going to go. Now, if your car was on it previously, you don't get into the raffle, right? So it's a very random thing. This is one of our member Gary Klimuk's. I think it's a 66 Nova, I think.
Okay.
It's definitely
I
a
like
Nova.
that.
Yeah, so this is the first anybody's seeing it. And the shirts we have for sale will have this on it. A little different. It won't be embroidered, and it'll have all the sponsors.
I
on the
remember
back.
you telling me that somebody's car every year, that's the car that you use.
Yeah, and
That's
we
really
get
cool.
on social media, we get asked like, hey, how much would it take to get my car to be the car of the year on the shirts and stuff? We don't do that. We think the committee people, for
Give
all they do,
a
have a
little
right to
something.
get a shirt with their car on it.
Well, you can get a shirt with your car on it. Go to that embroidery
Right,
place.
yeah,
They'll-
you can.
They'll make you one for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other middle-level sponsors are Beaver Falls Health Mart right here down the street. Just One More Sports Bar and Grill. You'll see that so many of these are very, very local that support this. Keller Heating and Cooling, McMahon's Cycle Sales, Valvoline, West Banco Bank, and Wilds Auto Specialties. And then the entry-level sponsors are AK Nahas. I mentioned Danny Nahas before. API, Aquatic Gardens, right down the street. Athens, right down the street. These are all right down the street. Auto Plus Auto Parts.
These are places that when you come to the car cruise, you're going to see them because you're going to be standing on the sidewalk in front of them.
Absolutely. And we would ask that whether it's on cruise day or throughout the year to support these sponsors. A lot of these are small businesses, right?
Total mom and pop.
Right.
For
and
sure.
yet they give up an entry-level fee to support the cruise. They get their name on the T-shirts, but they do it to support the cruise, you know. Beaver County Fruit Company. The city of Beaver Falls does a lot to help us out. D&G Rentals, Gordon's Auto Service up on Marion Hill up there, Huff's Auto Body, Hutchin Home, Jay's News, John's Brown's Armory over in Rochester, Kitchen City, Muscle Car Pit Stop, and Vocelli Pizza. Think of all these companies that I just mentioned. I don't know, there has to be over 20 of them.
Easy.
Who say, we will do what it takes for you to be able to put this cruise on every year.
They're putting their money where their mouth is.
They truly are. They truly are for a real hometown event that, and that, you know what they all do? When we go ask them every year, hey, you willing to sponsor? They go, you know, we really appreciate you guys, you folks continuing to put this on. They thank us. It's wild. It's crazy.
That is extremely rare. You're going to ask them for money and they're saying thank you for coming and asking. Makes you feel good about the community.
Sure does, and makes you realize how important. See, we think Saturday when this happens, this is true Americana, right?
Oh, no, you feel that way when you walk down the
You
street.
really do.
Yeah.
I think you do.
It's got a weird Norman Rockwell feeling to it that's very pleasant and in this day and age,
you know,
quite
everybody
unusual.
is walking up and down. Everybody has a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. I call it NPH. That's what this hour is, right? No politics hour. That's a no politics day, right? You don't see anybody arguing about anything in this kind of crazy world we're in. It's just for people to have fun that day. And it's so rewarding to us to see all the people with their cars that come and show their cars. It's also equally enjoyable for us to see the public just come and have a wonderful family-friendly day where they can come and have fun and eat and just enjoy themselves.
The first thing I noticed when we were at the Maple Syrup and Music Festival at Brady's Run, it stood out, the lack of angst. I watched people.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I watched people, Tom. It's like nobody here is angry. Everybody's having a good time, and we don't live in that world as much as we should anymore, and it was wonderful to have that demonstrated. This is the exact same thing. I remember the car cruise from last year.
Yep.
There was a lot of red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of political anything. And I just remember a lot of smiles on thousands of people's faces.
And that's an excellent way to put it. You know, you don't see angst on people's faces. It is true, just like the Maple Syrup Festival was a wonderful event.
Yeah.
You know, Beaver County put that on. They did an excellent job. And all these groups like us and them, we're here to support the local community. You know, our group as a group, we don't really care about what's going on with national politics because really it doesn't affect our car crews. We just want to, every year, we don't even try to get bigger anymore because I don't know how we could get any bigger. We just try to get better, make it better. Oftentimes we run into people and we ask them for their feedback. Like, what'd you like about the cruise? What didn't you like about the cruise? You know, and the things they like about the cruise, 100 to 1 is the feedback we get.
Yeah. What did I not ask you that you wanted to share? We got a couple of minutes left. Tom Gargaro talking about the Beaver Falls Car Cruise. It's this Saturday. It is where all the cool kids are going to be. What should I have asked you?
Well, I as always, Eddie, you asked me pretty much everything. I will tell you that right at 11 o'clock, we're going to have an opening ceremony. We're going to have a good friend of ours in the stations, Jerry Fisher, who's been here many times.
Yep.
He's going to have some veterans in cars that will come up. The lead car will be Sam Florida's Eldorado with Steve Peterson, our parade chairman emeritus, we'll call him, in the lead car, and Jerry Fisher will have cars with veterans. We always, always, always want to make sure that as a cruise committee, we pay homage to the veterans of our country. And it's not going to be a long parade. It'll just be a fairly short 5, 8, 10 cars. It'll come up, beautiful opening ceremony. We just ask everybody, whether you've got a classic car or not, come on out, have a wonderful time, get here early, stay late, and just come out and have a lot of fun.
Tom, great to see you again. I'll see you all day. You're going to be sick of me Saturday. Before the day's over, Gargaro's going to take a swing. Where's the Porta-John, Tom? Where's my free sandwich? I'm special. That would never happen. Tom Gargaro, my guest. The car cruise is Saturday. We will all be there.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.